Let me paint a picture you might recognize. Your salary is higher than it's ever been. Maybe significantly higher. You've gotten the raises, maybe switched jobs, maybe even built some side income. And yet, open your bank account right now, and the number staring back at you feels embarrassingly close to what it looked like 5 years ago. The stress around money hasn't gone anywhere. The big goals, financial freedom, a real investment portfolio, owning property, still feel like they belong to someone else's life. Someone with a different salary, a different upbringing, a different set of circumstances. But here's what's actually happening. Your income rose, and your life rose with it. The apartment upgraded, the car upgraded, the dining, the subscriptions, the weekend plans, the wardrobe, all of it quietly inflated to absorb every extra rupee or dollar that came in. You didn't blow your money. You just never gave it a destination before lifestyle claimed it. And meanwhile, you know people earning less than you who somehow have 6 figures invested. People your age buying homes. People who seem to be building something real while you're still trying to figure out where last month's salary actually went. What do they know that you don't? It's not a secret. It's not a trick. It's a system. A specific, structured way of telling every single rupee what to do the moment it arrives, before lifestyle gets its hands on it. That system is what this video breaks down today, and it works regardless of what you currently earn. Let's get into it. The real problem is never the income. Before we get into the mechanics, one idea needs to land completely. Your income is not the obstacle. Your architecture is. There's a well-documented phenomenon where over 60% of people earning 6-figure salaries still live paycheck to paycheck. These aren't reckless people. They're educated, hardworking, and earning more than the vast majority of the population. And yet, zero wealth. Because income without structure just means a more expensive version of the same financial trap. Why does this keep happening? Because spending is elastic. It stretches to fill whatever space is available. Without a system that captures money the moment it arrives and assigns it a purpose, lifestyle will always find a way to use it. The bonus disappears, the raise vanishes, the freelance income gets absorbed into the month. The wealthy aren't wealthier because they earn differently. Many of them earn similarly to high-income professionals who stay broke. The difference is that they run their finances like an operation, not a feeling. Every dollar has a job. Nothing sits idle. Nothing gets decided in the moment. That's what you're building today. The 15-50-20-15 framework. This is the allocation system. 4 buckets. Every rupee you earn falls into one of them, automatically, before you can second-guess it. You've probably heard the 50-30-20 rule, or various versions of it. Most of them fail for the same reasons. They underweight investing, ignore emergency buffers, or leave too much room for lifestyle to quietly expand. The 15-50-20-15 framework is built to close those gaps. Here's the breakdown. 15%, wealth building, investments. 50%, core essentials, bills, housing, transport. 20%, intentional lifestyle, enjoyment, experiences. 15%, stability reserve, emergency fund. Every rupee, 4 jobs. Nothing left to chance. Let's go through each one. The first 15%. Invest before you see it. This is the money that doesn't work for a salary. It works for you, compounding silently in the background while you sleep, travel, and live your life. Most people invest whatever's left over at the end of the month, which means they almost never invest because something almost always comes up. Wealthy people invert this completely. The investment transfer happens first, the same day income arrives. Before the lifestyle budget sees a single penny, before any spending decision can be made, the money has gone into assets before the brain can rationalize spending it. This one habit, paying your future self before anyone else, is the defining difference between people who build wealth and people who simply earn well. The math behind this is brutal in the best way. Starting early is more powerful than investing more later. Someone who begins investing a modest amount at 25 can end up with more than double the final amount compared to someone who starts at 35 with identical contributions. That gap isn't luck, it's time. And every year you delay, you permanently sacrifice the returns that early money generates. Where does the 15% go? Start with tax-advantaged accounts, employer-matched retirement plans, Roth-style accounts where your money grows completely tax-free. If your employer matches contributions, that's an immediate 100% return before any market growth happens. Never leave that on the table. Beyond that, keep the investment strategy boring and consistent. A broad index fund tracking the total market requires no expertise, no timing, no stock-picking intuition. Hundreds of companies. Historical average returns around 10% annually over long periods. Automate the monthly purchase. Let compounding do what humans can't. Work without stopping. The 50%, true essentials, nothing more. Half your income, maximum, covers the actual cost of keeping your life functioning. Rent or EMI, utilities, groceries, transport, insurance, minimum debt payments. Notice the list carefully. Restaurants are not on it. Streaming services are not on it. The gym membership, the weekend plans, the impulse online shopping, none of it belongs here. Those are lifestyle expenses, and they have their own bucket. The reason most people blow past 50% on essentials is because they never draw a hard line between what keeps them alive and what keeps them comfortable. Both matter, but they need different rules. The 50% cap forces clarity. It makes you actually audit your spending, and the audit is usually the most uncomfortable part. Pull 3 months of transactions. Categorize everything honestly. The number that emerges will probably be a number you'd rather not see. That discomfort is the beginning of the system working. 2 categories deserve the most attention here: housing and transport. These are the 2 areas where lifestyle inflation does the most long-term damage. Housing should ideally stay under 25–30% of income. Transport, especially in the era of car loans averaging over $20,000 a month after all costs, is one of the most silent wealth destroyers there is. A reliable used vehicle that gets you where you need to go costs a fraction of a financed, depreciating status symbol. Every rupee saved on essentials is a rupee that compounds over decades. The discomfort of a smaller apartment is temporary. The wealth it helps build is permanent. The 20%, guilt-free, planned enjoyment. Here's where most financial advice loses people. It treats every non-essential expense as a moral failing. It creates a system that feels like punishment, and punishing systems get abandoned. 20% of your income exists specifically for things that make life worth living. Dinner with friends, a trip, a hobby, the coffee shop you actually like. These aren't indulgences to be ashamed of. They're planned, pre-approved spending that happens after the important buckets are already funded. This is what makes the system psychologically sustainable. You know the investment's transferred, you know the stability fund is growing, so when you spend the 20%, there's no guilt, no anxiety, no mental math. It's already been accounted for. Open a separate account just for lifestyle spending. The 20% transfers there automatically on payday. When that account hits 0, the month's lifestyle spending is done. Clean, simple. No negotiation with yourself. And within that 20%, prioritize experiences over things. A trip creates memories that compound. A new gadget creates excitement that fades in 2 weeks. The wealthiest people aren't buying things that make them look rich. They're buying experiences, relationships, and health, the 3 categories that actually return more than what you put in. The final 15%, the stability layer. This is the bucket most people skip, and it's the reason most financial plans collapse the moment life gets complicated. Without a cash buffer, every unexpected expense becomes a crisis. One medical bill, one job transition, one car breakdown, and suddenly you're rating investments at the worst possible time or stacking debt that takes months to undo. The system falls apart not because of bad decisions, but because there was no shock absorber. The target is 5 months of essential expenses, liquid, accessible, and earning real interest in a high-yield savings account. Not invested in the market where it could drop 30% right when you need it. Not sitting in a zero-interest savings account being slowly eaten by inflation. A high-yield account paying meaningful APY, ready to deploy within 24 hours. Once you hit that 5-month target, The 15% that was building the reserve redirects toward investments. Your wealth building accelerates, but until that floor exists, it's the priority, because everything else you're building is only as strong as the foundation beneath it. Make it automatic, then forget it. Set up automatic transfers on the day income arrives. Investment accounts get their 15% immediately. Stability fund gets its 15%. Lifestyle account gets its 20%. What remains, the 50%, stays in checking for essential expenses. By the time you open your banking app, the allocation is already done. You never see the full amount sitting there looking spendable. The decision was made when you set up the system, not in the moment when temptation is highest. Review it quarterly. Adjust if income changes. Otherwise, stop managing money daily and start focusing on the only lever that accelerates this system faster, earning more. The real wealth mindset. Here's the shift that matters most. Most people earn money to spend it. The wealthy earn money to own things, not objects, but assets. Index funds that hold stakes in hundreds of businesses, income-producing holdings that grow while you're not thinking about them. When 15% of your income buys ownership every single month, that ownership compounds. Over years, the income from what you own begins to approach, and eventually surpass, the income from what you do. That's financial independence. That's how the 1% actually became the 1%. It was never a secret. It was always a system. Now you have one. This week, not next month, not when the timing feels right, open the accounts you're missing, schedule the automatic transfers, and start the 15%. 1 year from now, you'll barely recognize your financial position. 5 years from now, the compound effects will be undeniable. If this gave you the clarity that schools never did, do one thing right now. Share this with someone who needs to hear it. Hit like so more people find it, and subscribe because the next video goes even deeper into building the financial systems that quietly separate the wealthy from everyone else.